Good morning from Amelia. It's a little early morning stroll, well, not so early, it's about 5 to 8. I'm on my way to go and have coffee and cornetto, and then today we'll be walking, final day, walking to Orte. It's a pretty easy walk. The vast majority of it is actually downhill, just a little bit of ascent at the beginning, and then the classic ascent up to Orte itself. Caffeinated and sugared up, we're leaving Amelia behind. The first 3 kilometres or so are actually on the road. It is about 8 in the morning. I'm expecting it to be reasonably busy, but I walked a little bit of this yesterday, so I'm also expecting that we have pavement. So let's go a couple of kilometres behind us and then we can talk again. And as we're leaving, there's Amelia on her hill. Absolutely beautiful. A town that is well worth visiting, but as I was told a number of times while I was there, seems to have very few tourists. Almost exactly 4 kilometres of road walking, about a third of which had pavement, a third had a verge that was usable, and a third was just taking your life into your hands. It's a pretty busy road, but I think, looking at the map, that we've done most of the road walking for today. There's a little bit at the end going up into Orte, but obviously you're getting close to a town, so that's to be expected. Interesting road. It mostly seems to be small farms, small holdings, agriturismo places. So everything is very fenced off, hedges, walls, video surveillance cameras. So you've sort of been walking without really leaving habitation, but you're in the middle of the countryside. Just getting to a point where the views are starting to open up. So hopefully we'll get some nice shots. Very clearly in wine country at the moment. It's clouding over now. The forecast was high cloud, developing into heavy showers later. Just had a quick check of the forecast, and it's saying that the showers are not going to be starting till about 3 or 4 o'clock now. So I should manage to avoid them. I'm hoping that I'll be in Orte quite a while before that. So, fingers crossed, we won't be needing the waterproofs. path has been roughly paralleling the road. We're about to get probably the closest to the road that we've been in a couple of kilometres. I actually see the vehicles, but clouds rolling in, and interestingly, a couple of minutes ago there was a definite drop in the temperature. You could actually feel the wind getting cooler. We're now starting a big loop out to the southwest and then round to come into Orte from the north. Got me thinking about walking on these roads. So the name of the hike that I'm doing is Antica Via Amerina, and one of the things we need to remember is that the modern roads generally follow the underlying ancient routes. I mean, they were chosen for their ease, they were chosen for their directness, and on a hike like this it just doesn't make sense to try and follow exactly the current road, because so much of it would be road walking and it wouldn't be pleasant. So there's been a lot of effort made to make the hikes as interesting as possible, even if it does mean deviating from what was probably the actual route, but it's safer, and that's what matters. I went past some ruined farm buildings just a couple of minutes ago, and this has the feel of abandoned farmland, quite different to everything else that's around, and every other flat piece of ground in this area has been fertile, has been worked, so this just feels a little strange. Quick sit down, snack and some water. And then following rule number 3 of hiking. If you feel a hot spot on your feet, stop and sort it out immediately. I hike with 2 pairs of socks. I have a toe socks and then a thinner second pair that I wear. And I just felt that something was not quite right just between the big toe and the second toe. It turns out there was a tiny little piece of stone that had somehow got in, that I needed to just take out and sort out. It's done, and we should remain blister free, hopefully. And here we have 2 things. Firstly, the sulphurous springs. You know they're sulphurous because you can smell them. And then secondly, the border between Umbria and Lazio, which I have to cross. I think the poles are coming out. Definitely feeling rain now, but this is the point where we start the final ascent of the 3-day hike, and we'll be crossing over into the watershed of the Tiber Valley. So we should, about flies, we should in 45 minutes to an hour get our first view of Orte. Hopefully not with its head buried in the clouds. I believe we join the road now that goes over the ridge. It's quite a windy road and it's got some very, very sharp blind corners. So I may not film this until I'm sure that I'm away from traffic. But we're probably 4 kilometres away from Orte now. And then obviously we have the ascent up into the town. Made a bit of a decision to come off the road walking section. I was looking at the map and I found two trails that connect to each other, but cut off about 1 kilometre of the road walk. They're in woodland, very steep. I think I'm less likely to be killed here. The road's fairly busy, but the problem is it's quite windy and there are some really kind of sharp U-turns, which mean that I had to be incredibly careful, and the last one I did, just a massive truck was coming around the corner. Not a particularly pleasant walk. Just stepped off the path for a little moment, mostly to give my nerves a rest. This is not fun road walking. It's pretty rough. But the reality is there's only one bridge in this area across the Tiber, so we have to get there, and there's no real other way of getting to it. So we just have to put up with it for another kilometre, 2 kilometres, and then we'll be able to take a break. There really is no easy way to do this. Up the hill we go. It's quite steep. You go up and then you follow a path along the base of the cliffs, along to the right hand side of the city as we were looking at it, and there you meet a road that goes up a little bit more gently. There was no beer at the end of the walk with the rain, just a couple of phone calls and plans to get myself home. As always, please like and subscribe, it really does help the channel. Thanks for watching.